Welcome to section 1.5, part 1. This is the 6th session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover how you actually run and steer the security effort. We'll answer several questions. What does managing the security function mean? Why must security be measurable? How do you tie security to the business? Who leads it and how? What kinds of plans do you build? What organizational processes deserve extra scrutiny? And who fills the key security roles? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because someone has to own security as an ongoing program, not a one-off project. Picture a mid-sized logistics company that just acquired a smaller rival. Suddenly there are new systems, new staff, and new risks flooding in overnight. Without a managed security function, nobody is measuring, planning, or assigning responsibility, and gaps open fast. With it, every change runs through a clear structure. On the job, this is how security keeps pace with a moving business. What does managing the security function actually mean? It means treating security as a business activity you evaluate and improve over time. The clearest example is running a risk assessment and using it to shape your security policy. To pull this off, you need proper governance underneath. This is where development and rollout of your information security strategy lives. Think of it as tending a garden rather than planting once and walking away. It needs steady attention to keep producing. Why must security be measurable? Because you cannot improve what you cannot see. Measurable security means each mechanism does its job, delivers a clear benefit, and produces metrics you can record and analyze. When you deploy a safeguard, the numbers should show fewer bad events or more caught attempts. Measuring and evaluating those metrics is how you judge whether the whole program is complete and effective, including against common guidelines. Think of a fitness tracker. Without the readings, you are only guessing whether the workout is working. How do you tie security to the business? Through security management planning that aligns the security function to the organization's strategy, goals, mission, and objectives. That planning respects real limits like budgets and scarce resources, so you aim for the greatest benefit from every effort. A common tool here is the business case, a documented argument that justifies a decision or a new project, especially a security one. Money, people, technology, and space are all finite, so you must earn each investment. Think of pitching a home renovation to your family. You show the need, the cost, and the payoff before anyone spends. Who leads security and how? Senior management leads it using a top-down approach. Upper management sets the policies that give direction to the whole hierarchy. Middle management turns those policies into standards, baselines, guidelines, and procedures. Operational staff then implement the prescribed configurations and end users comply. The opposite, a bottom-up approach where technical staff decide security alone without leadership input, is rare and considered a problem. Security is a business responsibility, not just an IT one. Think of an orchestra. The conductor sets the piece, and every section plays their part in time. How should the security team be positioned? It should be autonomous, led by a Chief Information Security Officer who reports straight to senior leadership. That direct line, whether to the Chief Information Officer, the Chief Executive, or the board, keeps security out of departmental politics and strengthens it across the whole organization. Approval from the top is the one factor no plan can survive without. A policy the leadership does not back and commit to will simply fail. Building and enforcing that policy is also evidence of due diligence and due care, which shields management from claims of negligence when a loss occurs. Think of a referee who answers to the league, not to either team on the field. What kinds of plans do you build? Security management rests on 3 plan types working together. They differ in how far ahead they look and how much detail they carry. A strategic plan sets the long view, a tactical plan fills in the middle, and an operational plan governs the here and now. Think of planning a road trip. You pick the destination, then the route, then the turn-by-turn directions. Let's walk through each. What is a strategic plan? It is the long-term, fairly stable plan that defines your security purpose. It aligns the security function with the organization's goals, mission, and objectives, and it sets your planning horizon. Because it looks far ahead, You revisit and update it regularly, rather than rewriting it constantly, and it should include a risk assessment. Think of a compass heading for a long voyage. It rarely changes, but it keeps everything else pointed the right way. What is a tactical plan? It is the midterm plan that adds detail on how to reach the goals the strategic plan set out. It can also be built on the fly in response to events you did not see coming. It typically schedules the concrete tasks needed to hit organizational goals. Examples include project plans, hiring plans, budget plans, and system development plans. Think of a season schedule for a team. It maps out the matches that move you toward the championship. What is an operational plan? It is the short-term, highly detailed plan drawn from the strategic and tactical ones. It stays valid only briefly, so you refresh it often to keep it in step with the tactical plan. It spells out exactly how goals get done, with resource allotments, budgets, staffing, scheduling, and step-by-step procedures. Training plans and deployment plans are typical examples. Think of a daily to-do list. It changes constantly, but it is where the real work actually happens. What organizational processes deserve extra scrutiny? Anything that shakes up the organization raises risk, so governance has to cover it. Mergers and acquisitions bring danger, from leaked information and data loss to downtime and poor return. Buy without security in mind, and the flaws in what you acquired ride along for the product's whole life. So weigh the total cost of ownership, not just the sticker price. Divestitures and layoffs are risky too. Sanitize and destroy storage media, since wiping does not guarantee data cannot be recovered. And debrief departing staff with an exit interview covering their remaining agreements. Acquisition also covers outsourcing and consultants, so vet any third party you engage. Think of merging two households. You inventory everything and change the locks before you settle in. Who fills the key security roles? A handful of standard roles divide responsibility and liability across the environment. The senior manager owns overall security, signs off on policy, and is ultimately held liable, though they delegate the hands-on work. The security professional writes and implements the policy but does not make the decisions. The asset owner classifies information for protection, then hands the day-to-day data work to a custodian who performs the actual protections like backups and integrity checks. The user gets only the access their job needs, following the principle of least privilege, and the auditor reviews whether the policy is properly implemented and reports back to the senior manager. Think of a construction site. An owner, an architect, a foreman, the crew, and a building inspector each hold a distinct, named responsibility. So let's bring it together. Managing the security function means running security as a measurable, ongoing program tied to the business through planning and business cases. Leadership drives it top-down, with an autonomous Chief Information Security Officer reporting to the top and senior approval making or breaking every policy. You build 3 plans: strategic for the long view, tactical for the middle, and operational for the here and now. Mergers, divestitures, and outsourcing demand extra scrutiny, and 6 clear roles, from senior manager to auditor. Split the responsibility, get this structure in place, and security scales with the organization. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.